British lad reacts to the don'ts of visiting the USA. I'm intrigued for this one, guys. I'm guessing it's just what not to do when you go to America, or is it going to be lawful of what not to do? Like, I'm assuming every country's got different laws, but also where to go and where not to go. Because I plan on coming, and I plan on coming soon, so this should be interesting. Guys, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe. This is going to be a good one.
And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going? All this stuff. And my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on...
That's also big in England, I think, because it's just one of them. Get away from me. You know what I mean? Get away from me. Give me my personal space. Even like, you know, there's people who are just too overly, even friends. Like, if a friend puts his arm around me, like, just like, do you know when they lean on you? Hi there. And then you're both stood next to each other and you're talking to the person from like, hey. I just think, get off. Like, I love you, but get off me. So I'm with you guys on that one. I'm with you.
Throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, in middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have.
You guys have a Primark. Sorry, forget what he's saying right now. America has Primark. I thought that was only an English thing. Like, I wonder if you guys, if you do have a Primark, do you think of it like the British think of it? Like, we think of it as it's a cheap place to go. To be honest, people have a negative outlook on Primark. They go, what have you got on that? Ah, is that from Primark? Like, cheapskate. If you're on a night out and you go, where'd you get that from? Primark. And it's like, I'm not being funny. Primark have some good stuff. Like, I do not care what make clothes are. If it's good, it's good. If you look cool, you look cool. I don't care if you got it from off a coat hanger in the £1 shop. If it looks good, it's cool in my book. But Primark, I just didn't expect to be in America. But how do you guys see it? Is it a cheap shop, or is it your day-to-day? You wear stuff from there, but you would never go out in the evening with them on. Like, what? Like, again, I like Primark, but I'm just saying I didn't expect it to be in America.
For you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, you know, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I'm going to do, you know, go to from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, oh, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, you know, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like, my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home. What? Just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. What? And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't...
Hold on, guys, that one is a crazy one. Like, I do kind of understand where so basically, we do, on this channel, we also eat food, don't we? So, I'll leave the latest one pinned in the comments below of what we ate recently. We ate the New York Wings Challenge. But either way, our goal is to be able to come to America and try the real foods of America. Buffalo Wild Wings in Buffalo, the original shop where they were made, down to Texas and have a real Texas barbecue. You know, we want to go to all these places in America basically and try these. We want to go to Chicago and have a Chicago pizza. And on our goal, we wanted to start off in New York, get some New York pizza, travel up to Buffalo, a bit further up, and then come around, like, is it the 5 Great Lakes? Underneath one of them to Chicago. Then travel down to, like, Nashville. Play a few gigs, because we do music. We're in a band called Raygo Bloom. Do some gigs there. And then go even further down to what? Oh, I forget what it's called. You know where I mean? Where they have all... It's at the... Yeah, they have hot sauce there. It's like where a lot of hot sauces were made. And then travel into Texas, then go to Nevada. We was like, we'll come for 3 weeks and do that. It's crazy talk. That is crazy talk. Because we say this, but it's only because we know we'd be seeing new places and it would be fun. Whereas in England, if you told me we're going nipping up the road to have dinner with our parents and it was 4 hours, I'd be like, bro, I got to book a week off work for something like that. That is nuts if you think I'm doing that. But also, you got to bear in mind traffic. In England, traffic is crazy. So when you want to travel 2 hours to somewhere, it's not just... It doesn't actually take 2 hours. It takes like 4 because of traffic. So is the traffic bad in America? Because it's so big and vast. I think your traffic isn't that... It's easy. And also, you guys are on one long road for about 300 miles, so it's a different category of fish, a different kettle of fish, what you're talking about. Over here, we have what they call A roads, and it's like country roads. So even if you want to travel 2 hours from here to Brighton, we don't have motorways. It's just little A roads. You're going down country lanes at 40 miles an hour, then another country lane at 60, then you'll hit a 20 miles an hour zone. It's mental, so it all depends where you are. Moral of the story is, I don't think when we come to America, we'll be able to do all that stuff. We'll probably just have to stick to... We're in Texas. And even then, it's huge. I want to travel.
You come here is, don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S. we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's gonna be $1.08. The other one, it's gonna be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't. And
hold on. That's stupid. Stupid, get rid of it, let's change it. Let's just include it in the price. Because now when I'm going around the shop, I can't count things up. Let's say I've got $50 in my pocket. You know what I mean? I'm going to go around the shop. I'm going to go, right, I'll grab those wraps. I'll grab that piece of chicken. I'm going to grab a steak for tomorrow night. I'll grab a bag of rice. I'm looking at the prices and I'm adding it up roughly in my head. Okay, we're around 30 quid to get some of those drinks. You can't even do that because you're adding up the sales tax in different towns. It's stupid. Get rid of it. No argument needs to be made. No debate. Include it in the price. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It makes life easier.
Don't forget to tip. Look, in the US, you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the US, there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the US. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the US, so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're gonna wanna tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So
it's a catch-22, that one. I see where they're coming from, and I do believe in tipping 100%. If you've had a nice evening and the waitress or the waiter has been amazing and they've tended to your beck and call, 100% they deserve a tip. But at the end of the day, everyone earns a different salary. You know, I might earn 3 times less than the man next to me. So don't just insinuate I'm going to be able to pay 18% extra on top of that. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's quite a lot. So if I had £100 meal and you're thinking pay 20%, I've now got to give you £120. What if I don't have it? At the end of the day, a job's a job. You are getting paid to do that job. Don't just expect somebody to give you money for doing your job, because at the same time, that's stupid. I'm a car salesman. I sell someone a car. I'm not going to go, by the way, I'm going to stick 200 quid extra onto this because I sold you it. They'll be like, what are you talking about, mate? I'll pay for the car. You're just doing your job. And I wouldn't be able to argue the toss. I go, you know what? You're right. I sold you the car. I get paid to do this job. I don't expect extra money of you just because I'm doing my job. You're doing your job. But, again, I do believe in tipping. Because, you know, it's kind, isn't it? It's nice. It's catch-22. I can see both sides of the story. My argument is, don't just expect it, and don't just add it onto the bill either. It's about, you'll see who's kind. It's out the kindness of your heart. Let's see who the real kind people are. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna tip you, no matter what. Just don't ask. Just don't insinuate it's gonna happen, because that's rude if anything. You know what I mean? I might be broke. I am. I'm broke. Yeah, no, let's go.
Off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the US. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the US, the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is, don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is, don't smoke cigarettes in the US. If you're smoking cigarettes in the US, people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my
Yeah, I agree. Cigarettes are just stupid. Literally so stupid. What? But again, you know, as long as you're not doing it in the hotel or in the pub. Do you know what? I don't smoke. Never have done. It's stupid. Why am I going to pay £20 for a pack of like 18 cigarettes that literally are harmful? That's just my ideology on it. Is that the correct term? However, I do go to the pub and I do like to drink alcohol. I like a beer. That's also harmful though. So I do believe you should be able to smoke inside of a pub, like house. A pub. It's medieval. That's where it came from. We're in a pub. They weren't smoking cigarettes, but you know, it came from. They were drinking alcohol. They were doing over 18 stuff. You're in a pub. You come to drink. And you come to smoke. And up until like 2007, you was allowed to smoke in a pub. At the end of the day, your kid shouldn't be in a public house. It's people are swearing, people are drinking, it gets lively, people start fighting. You shouldn't be in one. Restaurants, you shouldn't be able to smoke. You shouldn't be able to smoke. But a pub, you should be able to. So it's one of them. You know what I mean? Again, it's another catch-22, but yeah, I agree to just smoking. Really? You're wasting all your money on cigarettes? Really? If you want, yes, and you got one life. If that's what you want to do it.
liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or...
You're telling us what? This is everywhere in the world. Give me something that's genuinely doesn't exist anywhere. Like, obviously you got to take your ID. Obviously.
They may ask you for that, and don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID.
Sounds to me this guy's run out of ideas, and he's just coming up with anything now.
Buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use we don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is when you do come to the US, there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control. You will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics. Talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now my next don't for you...
I won't even mention anything to do with that myself.
Don't assume that all the US and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the US has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume
Listen, one thing to do with fat people, I fully respect it when they admit it. Like, it's not even a touchy subject. Honestly, don't even come at me with hate. If you're fat, just admit it. I do not care whatsoever. Like, if you want to live your one life eating whatever you want, do it. My brother Max, who's on this channel, he's not fat, but he calls himself a fat ass, you know. He's like, listen, the moment he's always on like a diet, and he's like, the moment I'm 50, it's all going to go out the window. I'm giving up. I'm going to be fat and eat and indulge in whatever I want. And I respect it. Again, I'm huge on you only live once. Live your free life how you want it. As long as it's respectful, you're not harming anyone. Do it. If you want to sit in your house, smoke, and get fat, do it. I think do it. This is one beautiful go round on this planet. On this planet. Wherever you go after this, that is up to you and your beliefs. But what I'm saying is, on this planet, do what you wish. I think the world would be a better place if everyone just accepted that. You know what I mean? Remove all this hate. If you want to be fat, be fat.
All the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel.
Sorry, let me go. I have to keep... Don't get uncomfortable around me when someone says the word fat. Do you know what I mean? When there's a fat person there and someone goes, oh, I can't eat that, and they're only normal, and they go, I can't eat that, I'm watching me weight, and the fat person's like, shut up, who cares? If you want, you could go on a diet. You know what I mean? You just don't want to, who cares? However, those people with medical conditions who literally can't lose weight, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. Fair one. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for those people. But those who can control it, like my brother Max, I'm not coming at him. I'm not coming at you, Max. You're the one who calls yourself a fat ass, and I respect it. You know what I'm saying? God damn, you gotta watch everything you say in this world.
Southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the Northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee. You're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true, because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions
100%.
about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the US, it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying how are you. Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France. Ça va? Ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good? You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels.
Free Wi-Fi? You don't even get free Wi-Fi. That's crazy. Yeah, that's kind of like reversed, isn't it? You'd think if you go to the more expensive hotels, then the Wi-Fi actually the the cheap hotels have got nothing to offer, so they're gonna give you the free Wi-Fi. The expensive hotel wants to look good, so you would think that the things that are cheap, like Wi-Fi, give you the Wi-Fi password. You'd think they'd be free as well. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, actually. I've never even thought about that. Also, I just seen then the 13th floor. Don't be surprised if we don't have a 13th floor. I could have sworn I read that somewhere once that you guys don't have the 13th floor due to the what's the like because of it's a bad Friday the 13th. Like, is that why you don't have a 13th floor because of the number of it having a bad curse around it? Is that correct, or am I tripping?
Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and oh my God, the New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Now my next don't for you is
100%. That's what I would want to do. Even though I mentioned going to the Buffalo original place, it's because they made the original Buffalo way, so I'd love to do that. But I 100%, I would want to go off-road, we're in the middle of a town that's only got 1,800 people who live there, and there's this little outhouse that some old couple have had a recipe in their family for 300 years. You know what I mean? That's where it's crazy to think. I wonder how many recipes there are for different things that are just extra delicious. And I just know that America, you guys are known for having such flavour in your foods, and you always say England, they don't know what flavour is. I'm intrigued to see what you guys are talking about when you say that. Your foods must just be way better. They must be. Because I will be real with you. We lack seasoning. And also, when we're doing those mukbangs on this channel and we're eating, you guys are always like, where's the dips? Where's the sauces? They don't provide you with sauce unless you ask for it. But it's just not, you'd think they'll just go, here you go, here's the sauces to go with that meal. It's like they don't want you to have a good time when you're eating over here. But you guys are like, oh, you have loads of different dips, blah, blah. That's what I'm talking about. I want you to give me all the good stuff.
Don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that...
Just a quick one. When he says that and he's saying sick, injuries, obviously, okay, fair enough. You don't pay NHS like us, so we pretty much cover it every single month. I get a bill that comes out that covers it, which you guys, I think you do have, but some of you choose to pay it. We don't have a choice. We've just got to. But when you're saying get sick, if you guys get conjunctivitis, you wake up and your eyes are stuck together, can you just go to the doctors and you book it in the morning over here in England? It's 8:30 in the morning, they open up. You'll probably be sixth in line because 4 grannies are already there because they want to pick up the cough medicine. But yeah, You ring them up, you're in line, you go, yeah, can I book an appointment for 2 this afternoon? I got conjunctivitis, mate. My left eye's not opening. Yeah, come down. You go down there, they give you some conjunctivitis thing. You go in the little pharmacy next to it. It's £8 for the stuff, and you leave. Like, is it like that, or do you have to pay for your doctor's appointment? You got to ring up your doctor, because in America, you all know your doctor's names. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, Doctor Shabnab told me that this is blah blah, and also, you guys all know who, you know, like when you watch films, midwives. You all know your midwife and everything. I don't know. I wouldn't know in England, but I haven't heard of that. I swear, when you're having a baby, anyone just comes in and delivers it. Like, legit. You don't even know who's delivering that baby. You know what I mean? I do not know who my midwife was for when I was born, and there ain't no. You know what I mean? My mum wouldn't be able to know who that lady is. You don't. It's weird over here. It's just like, deliver that baby, care, quick, care. You know what I mean? So that side of things, I think we need to get on board with that. Let's start developing a friendship with our midwives. What? You know what I mean? Because it's a big deal.
People actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there.
That was a good video. I liked it. It was... I learned a few things. Some of them, I'm pretty sure he just made up. Like, going in the pub, going in somewhere and asking for your ID. Of course, they do that over here, but... Some of the other things were interesting. If you guys like this video, like it, share it, but most importantly, subscribe, because we've got hundreds of thousands of videos coming your way, including trying American foods. Link is pinned in the comments below. We tried New York authentic wings according to one of the restaurants down there. Basically what we're doing is the food American or not? We're going to places where these places are claiming that their food is authentic American recipes that they've found and they've made, or they've been over to America, brought it back, and this is how you do it. That's what they're saying. The real question is the food American or not? You guys tell us. Until next time, peace out! Because I know that I only ever tried to. I know that I only ever tried to love you. Only ever tried to love you. Only ever tried.